Hi, this is Keiko from Brooklyn Shoe Space. This is our Shoe Talks Quarantine Edition. It's our last Shoe Talks in Brooklyn Shoe Space. I think, I don't know if you can see, I'm packing up. It's a little bit of a mess, but today I'm inviting Lauren from Lauren Brinkers. She is a member with us. She's been a member with us for over about 7 years, I think, and she's been moonlighting, coming into the space on weekends and weeknights after her shift at the hospitals, and she is going to join us. Okay, she has just joined, so I'm going to add her. Hold on. Sorry, it's like, oh, it's 7 o'clock, so there's all the sound going on. Good. All right, sorry. I'm like, no makeup. Hey, how are you?
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
1 second.
Yeah.
There. Do you hear the?
Yeah, I do hear.
Outside.
It's
Yes.
great.
I love it.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't get to.
I mean, you're on the
my apartment. Sorry.
You're on the receiving end at some point, no? Everybody was cheering for you.
Yeah, I never get to hear it when I'm at home. I don't know. I live in like industrial Brooklyn, and I never hear it. I'm listening. I'm like hoping to hear it, but everyone's really loud here in Williamsburg at the studio.
It's like a party here.
Yeah.
How's the quarantine been? It's like 2.5 months now, almost. No,
it feels like 2.5 years.
Yeah, it does. So how were the first weeks? Like, you've been coming into the studio, or what were you doing? Like, how were you working a lot? I know you got called into the hospital as well. We'll touch on it a little bit because that's a part of it.
Yeah. So I've been a nurse for as long as I've been a shoemaker, pretty much. So I've always done it, and I have worked in the hospital for 10 years. And then I left the hospital. I was like totally sort of burnt out. I worked at a children's hospital, really big, crazy, busy children's hospital, and I just got burnt out. So I haven't been in the hospital for 5 years. And then a couple months ago when this pandemic hit, I was terrified because I sort of knew deep down that I would not have to, but I ended up volunteering. Yeah, I mean, they needed us really badly. So, yeah, I mean, and it was this kind of thing. It wasn't like this big heroic, like, I have to go. I'm just charging in. Like, I kind of knew deep down it was going to be really, really hard. And so I was really, really dreading it, like really pretty badly. But I just kind of knew I had to do it. I'm a nurse. I've trained for this. Yeah. And our city was just, I mean, it still is. It's really rough here. So it was just something that I knew I had to do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But it's like, but you also had you have your day job as doing the day, like, it's not in-person nurse, but like you're doing medical work as well on the side.
Yeah.
Right? And then
yeah, that's right. That's correct.
Yeah.
I still work in data, in like hospital data, which is like, so it's hard to sort of articulate what I do because it's just so different than being in a hospital and like taking care of patients, and it's so simple and gratifying and important, and like it's really easy to explain. But what I do now, it's like data for the hospital. It's still really important. It's still like amazing work, but I do most of it from home, which is really nice. Yeah. So I have my remote nursing, and then I also do my shoes, and it's been something I've juggled since the very beginning. I mean, I actually started making shoes before I was a nurse. Right. So it's just always sort of made sense and clicked in this sort
Yeah.
of weird
Yeah.
tandem.
I feel like you were like one of the first members actually from the old space, and you were always coming in the evenings or on your days off, which were
Yep.
like odd days off, and then you had
Yep.
like intensive work days, but you had like a couple days off from work or
Yeah.
like weekends or weeknights. And yeah, I because I had a younger child at the time, I didn't see you there as much.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. But
Yeah,
you've
me
been
too.
like juggling both, which is kind of hard. You're like basically having two jobs. So it's been a long time that you've been doing that, you know?
Yeah.
I salute that. That's amazing. So what tell me a little bit about your line. When did it kind of solidify? How do you get inspired? What do you get
Um,
inspired from? Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, my line, like, I didn't actually open an actual business until the beginning of 2018. So it's a new line, really. I mean, I've always been tinkering away. I've always been sort of gearing up to what I'm doing now. It all happened very organically, naturally. I mean, I've been making shoes for many years, but it's just it's been this slow, dedicated thing. And then being a nurse, it slowed it down even more. And just like, it's total grassroots. I started from, like my income from one pair of shoes paid for the materials for the next, and so on and so forth. So it's been really slow, but I think I mean the painting of the shoes. So like I've always been gearing up to this painted shoe. It's just kind of a need of mine that I've always felt to like experiment freely with color, because the pattern making is usually the most difficult part for most people, because shoes, they have to fit well. Pattern making is unforgiving in some ways.
Yeah.
And like I always think back to my teacher at Cordwainers, my pattern making instructor. He was so strict, and like, a tiny wrinkle, a millimeter, it all, was really important to him. So I was kind of a nightmare for him in that class, the pattern making. It's really strict. So yeah. I don't know, the painting, it was always like, I was always wanting certain colors. I really wanted to paint shoes, just to kind of like free myself of all the restraints of the pattern making. Like I can make different shapes and different sort of styles with paint. And that's always been like sort of at the back of my brain.
Do you think it's like if you were to use leather in multiple colors, you have to always stitch?
Yeah,
and
which
like
I did, yeah, I did that. And I was always annoying my teachers, like at Cordwainers. And I started at the Jewish Community Center, the JCC. That's where you started too, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's go back a little bit into your background. Yeah, how did you start making shoes?
Well,
and then go back to your painting again. Let's go back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So the shoemaking, I started doing it when I was in college. I've always been obsessed with shoes, and I don't know, like in college I was taking vintage boots and I was cutting them up, chopping them up, and like sewing them up into other little designs. I mean, you can only do so much from a pair, from a made pair of shoes. You do nothing with the sole. So I was just stitching up the uppers and like changing them around and adding things. I mean, I wish I still had them. They're probably god awful now, but I was just so curious about it. I was like obsessed with it. And then that was like in college. So as soon as I got to New York, somehow I really still to this day don't know how I had like the wherewithal to say, like, I know I had all these ideas, but I also knew that I had to have like a solid career to move to New York, which is also always what I wanted to do. So I finished nursing school. I don't know how. I mean, like, who knows? Like 21-year-old me, I have no idea how I did. But yeah, so I finished nursing school. I got to New York, and I immediately found the JCC. Yeah. Emily Putterman. Yeah. Same teacher as you. Yeah. But I just loved it. I was so obsessed with it. And we went to Kaufman's, and like the old Kaufman's in Soho.
Yes.
And I was just like, I stepped foot in that place and I was just in heaven. The
Yes.
smell, the leather, all the tools.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, I'm sure it was the same for you.
Us. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm always like in love with the materials, and then they sort of lead me to whatever comes next. But so yeah, I started at the Jewish Community Center, and then Emily Putterman, the teacher, I was like, if you're really as into this as you seem, like, you should go to Cordwainers in London. Yeah.
So did you go after your nursing degree? Between?
I went during. So like I moved here as a brand new nurse. I worked at the pediatric hospital, and I kept my job there and moved to London, and I became like a per diem nurse, which means, I mean, they needed me whenever I was in town, they needed me. So I basically flew back and forth for 2.5 years from New York. I would work like 4 nursing shifts, make a little bit of money, and then fly back to London and go to school. It was a kind of a wild, I mean, it's a wild thing to do, to like commute sort of from New York to London. But
the school was it like a monthly thing, or was it a semester? Like, how did you?
The Cordwainers?
Yeah. Isn't it like a year program?
Yeah, it was their year program. So I stayed there, but I ended up staying for 2 years, and I interned with Vivian Westwood a little bit, which was really fun. Yeah. And I tried to stay and work, but it's the visa stuff. They basically had to like boot me out.
That's what everybody says when you know the US students, they come back. Yeah.
But then so like after Cordwainers, I moved back to New York, and I actually got a really cool internship with Rag and Bone, like way back in the day. And it was really cool, and I loved it. And it was this kind of like, you know, I had a footwear degree from Cordwainers, so they were like, wow, that's really unique and cool. And they were kind of like, I don't know, that was kind of a unique thing to come back to New York with. But I didn't like the fashion world so much. I was just a little, I don't know, disenchanted. And I really knew deep down that I didn't want to work for a fashion house or another designer or corporate. And by the way, like the whole time I'm also working as a nurse. I'm working night shift at the hospital, taking care of kids, and then I'm going into my internship, and like,
oh my god,
they're yelling at me to like,
oh my energy, that's amazing.
Yeah, well, that's your 20s, right? Like that was so long ago.
Oh yeah. And
so
then,
I kind of I knew then that like I knew that like I was just gonna have to do this on my own, and it was gonna be hard and long, and I would have to figure it out.
When was that? How long ago was that?
That was like 2010. I got back from London, and I did that. So I feel like it's taken me that long to get to where I am now. Like it's taken me 10 years with the skills I had from school, and then, you know, obviously in shoemaking you're constantly learning. I came back here, I've learned from you, I've learned from Bonnie and Yuji and Lorna, and we all learn from each other. You also took a class with Carrie Ducker, no? Yeah, that class was amazing. You did hand welting, right? Or... Yes. And what did you think of it? Would you do anything that's like that involved? Yes, definitely. I mean, it's such an incredible skill, and I mean that course was amazing. I told them, I remember telling James. I remember telling James, I was like, in some ways I've learned more in this 2-week class than I did at Cornwaiters. When it comes to, I mean, the hand welting, it takes 2 weeks to learn that sort of thing. So or not even, like you almost need more time, and definitely condense it into 2 for you, you know? But that was great. Do you still have that pair that you made with them? It's so funny. I thought I was making a pair for my brother, and they were too small for him. So I gave it to one of my best friends who is a musician. His name's Keith. He's like a wild man. He wore them all over the streets of New York, and he wore through the, I told him before I gave them to him, he's one of my best friends, but I told him, like, whatever you do, don't wear them through the sole. Like, give them back to me and I'll have them resold. But of course he wore through them, and so they have huge holes in the soles.
Oh, okay. All the way sole or insole.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. But I feel, yeah, it's hard.
But they were beautiful shoes. They were amazing.
That's so great. So back to painting. Like, so you were saying that the patterning to like the painting, and then where do you get inspired with the color palettes?
I mean, I'm inspired by travel, obviously, like, well, when we used to travel, but you don't need to go places. You can go to the museum, you can go to the Met, you can look at amazing paintings. You can, I mean, there's endless inspiration, especially in New York. You can walk down the street and, you know, it's endlessly inspiring. Even now in quarantine, it's still such a vibrant, alive place. Yeah. But I really love like the desert. I love the West, like the American West. I just, you know, I die over those landscapes. It's so beautiful. Yeah. The natural landscapes are sort of my biggest inspiration, I guess, but.
Very cool. I've seen some of your hardware, like belts and harnesses that you've made. Yeah. Are they also kind of like Western inspired? And
totally. Yeah. And sometimes I try and like rein in my cowgirl, you know, I kind of go crazy with the Western stuff sometimes, but actually I don't care. I mean, not everyone has to like it. I love it so much. I love the West. All of the intricate hardware and the artistry I'm just in love with. So yeah, I mean, the hardware was, I've been hunting for that for years and years. Like every trip I take, I go sourcing and looking. And the cool stuff about that is like, most of that stuff you find going into small shops and stuff out there. It's not, you know, it's not like easily available online and stuff like that. So.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I think I got like question from somebody about like, where does she get her hardware? But I think maybe that could be just West Coast.
Yeah. I mean, the Texas is amazing. Mexico is amazing. But you know, travel is sort of limited right now, but it took me years and years to find stuff. I was going into every shop I could. Yeah. Because I've always been in love with this stuff. So good. But like oh sorry.
No, it's okay. I was thinking, when you find something, do you buy bulk, or when you find something you just have their phone number and you order it each time you need it, or how do you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm better about buying now. Before, I would just buy so much. Before I even knew what I was going to do with it, I would just, it's like, I don't know, it's not a healthy thing. So I always buy a few and sample it myself and wear it myself and see how it wears and tears and all of that. And then I'll place an order. And you also have to test it out to your customer. Sometimes I'm like totally in love with something and you know, it's not really everyone's style. So yeah, I just buy a few.
But it's your style. It's your style. So you're doing it for your own line, and then people who like your line, right? I feel like belts and the harnesses. I want to share a little bit of your space that you work out of, even though right now
sure.
I'm
like working. I'm with Lorna right now, my buddy. Me and my buddy are in the studio. She's like, no, don't. But wait, we'll keep her out of it. Yeah. It's also a mess right now because we're moving and there's stuff everywhere. I'm gonna try shoes on. Can you? Lorna's over there. She said absolutely not. I'm not allowed to show her.
Hold on. I think the Wi-Fi is kind of slow.
We have, but
Do you
it's
see
a
me?
shared space. It's two of us in here. So it's kind of like our little, it's like an intimate little space. I don't know why I said intimate. Was that? We have, this is like a little sander. This is a great little mighty sander, this one. It's amazing. It's really compact. I don't know if you can see how small it is, but it's really great.
Yeah.
5-in-1 sewing machine. This is all my stuff. This is how messy I am. I can't believe I'm showing you this right now. Why am I doing that?
Don't go that way.
Okay, I'm not allowed to show you Lorna's stuff, but actually this is, I have some things I'm working on now, like is this how you do this?
Yeah.
This is my latest painted pair that I'm really actually in love with. I haven't like put an insole and I haven't finished them, but they're kind of new, fresh off the last.
Yeah.
I'm really into purple.
Yeah, I love the lilac.
I'm also wearing a belt. One of my belts.
Ooh, I love it.
But it's lavender because I'm lavender crazy, and some of the hardware is here.
Nice.
And then I'm also doing some little Mary Janes. Those are actually for me, which I'm really excited about. I'm just making myself a pair of shoes because why not, right? And then I'm also doing bootstraps that they're like, I'm like horrible at this, by the way. Yeah, so it's all brass hardware, it's veg tan, it's painted. I don't know, can you kind of get a feel for them? It's finished yet, but these I'm actually really excited about. Actually, I can do this. There they are.
Why not? And
so I'm just also playing with different.
Hard. Nice.
Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I just bought Cheetos. This is so embarrassing. Not a normal purchase, but there we go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. It is. You kind of keep each other accountable too, which is really nice. Lorna's not afraid to bust my balls, which I love so much.
You need to bust my balls.
Yeah, I know. And I'm sort of lazy. I don't know if everyone is like this, but I'm lazy. Like I will put on a pair of shoes that takes like a half a second less to put on and take off over another pair that might match my outfit better. Because I'm just so lazy and I'm like running out the door. Anyway, Mary Janes are easy because they're just gonna like slip on and off. But yeah. Oh, and I bought a pair of shoes from Bonnie. These are like my favorite. They're so beautiful. It's like this green, sort of like stingray, but it's not stingray. And this sort of pearlescent green. I'm really excited about those. Yeah. What else can I show you? I showed you my Cheetos. shoot, I think you're breaking up. What's my favorite?
Your shoemaking life.
Oh, my favorite shoe.
Did you hear me?
My favorite shoe that I've made. Yeah, it was my favorite shoe that I've ever.
Yeah.
Okay,
Are you coming over? Okay.
Yeah, I'm coming over. Hold on. It's a bummer. Our Wi-Fi is just not the best.
Yeah, come over here.
So I'm gonna come over there. It's right next door. This is our shop. I'm gonna walk up the door. Walk up the door. I'm walking the door. This is our neighborhood in Brooklyn. Oh, I have a lot of garbage. I put cones out for the truck for tomorrow. And now I'm going right next door. And I think oh, so you can see too. So now it might echo.
Oh God.
So I'm gonna turn. Okay. We can go on mine. Okay, I'll go like this. Move, Lauren. Thank you. All right. I'll let her sit right there. You want to sit right there? Sure. Oh, and I'm gonna go like that. Oh, let me see.
Do you want me to hold it for you?
Oh.
Hey, I'll wait.
Okay, so we're gonna try to do. What if we put it right there?
Well, if we do this, I'll just hold it.
Oh, really?
Wait, your camera's a little
Thanks,
bit.
Lorna.
Thank you.
Technical difficulties.
Sorry, that one doesn't work that other way. That's the problem. The camera's broken. The selfie.
You look good though. You both look good. You look,
Because it's fuzzy.
you look fuzzy.
Oh, my
I'll
goodness.
tell you if any questions pop up.
Okay, so if you had the unlimited resources and the time, what would you make, and who would it be for?
Oh wow. I mean, unlimited time, I would do hand welted everything. Like, I love it so much. And the sort of cathartic nature of it. I mean, the one course that I did, it was really rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes so long.
Mm-hmm.
So I use minimal cement, and then I have my soles sewn on by the shoe repair guys, actually. I would do hand welted though, for sure. What about you?
For yourself?
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. I think I haven't made shoes for myself for so long.
Yeah.
That I think if I had the unlimited resource and time, I would make shoes for myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it'll be hand welted as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dreamt about going out west and studying with a bootmaker.
Yeah.
You know, like a resident sort of deal. I remember years ago I contacted a few different ones out west, and they were all, I mean, everyone is so lovely and open and they're like, yeah, you can come out here for a few weeks and come to my shop. I mean, that sort of blows me away.
Yeah.
So cool.
That is cool. Today I talked with Murphy this afternoon at 3, and she said that, like, yeah, I wasn't just gonna come for 2 weeks, I just moved over there.
That's so cool.
It is nice that you can do that too, right?
Yeah.
It's hard when you have like a route here too. Like you
Yeah.
had a job, you have a partner, like it's kind of hard to just up and move.
Yeah. And I know I'm not old, like I'm in my late 30s, but
You're
I just
not
feel like,
old.
no, but I feel like I would do that if it were, I don't know,
Like
10 years ago. Yeah.
Right.
I know I still could, but it's just,
Yeah. No, I think also that too. I would love to go and learn more. I have a list of people I want to learn from,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just keep that list, and then I'm gonna like slowly do it.
Yeah. I bet it's the long list.
Yes. I mean, right? I mean, there's so many things I want to do.
I know.
What would you do differently post-corona? Do you think you will do, or has anything changed for you?
I do, the majority of what I do is made to order. So I feel like in that regard, I'm really lucky.
Sorry, can you hear us? I'm not sure. It's hard because there's a mask.
I think so.
Okay.
It might just be like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No one said anything yet.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, most of what I do is made to order, and I do really small batches, and most of it is one-of-a-kind painted stuff. So I would like to, like, my materials are pretty dialed in. Like, I've, gone through the searches. Like, all of this has been accumulated over the last 10 years. I've kind of got it down to really nice materials that are, most of them are, well, not most of them are locally, probably like half of them are local, but all in the United States, which is really nice. I don't know, I mean, getting it even sort of more dialed in, I guess, the materials and the sourcing and, just everything better for the environment. Like, that's going to be an ongoing thing for all of us, I think.
Yeah. Do you think, would you take any apprentices or help? Would you need any help?
Yeah, I would be open to that, I think. I could be open to that, for sure.
Then it would free you up a little bit to do some
other
things.
I have trouble with like the social media and the Instagramming and the responding to emails and all that. I find that difficult to juggle with the making and also with the, like, not just the making, but the product development, the creative sort of. Sometimes I go through long bits of needing to just be in my studio and painting on leather and working that stuff out. So it would be nice to be able to dedicate more time to that and less time to the business side of things.
Yeah, but because you are a solo, you kind of have to wear all.
Yeah, of course.
What part of the business? So do you like? You like the making part, or obviously, but
I love the making part. Yeah, I do. I like the styling and that kind of thing. I just
photo shooting. You mean?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't do. My partner is a photographer, and he helps me with the photo stuff. But I have trouble having the product to bring to a photo shoot. Like, I make stuff to order, and I like get it out the door, and I send it to the customer, and sometimes I don't even photograph it. I'm like, shit, I didn't even photograph that amazing pair of shoes I just made, or whatever. Yeah. Not amazing pair of shoes, something that I really loved, and I would have loved to have a photo of, but I'm like, I didn't even photograph that. So yeah.
And then in your case, you don't really have like samples ahead, and you don't make the same shoe twice. Basically, your paintings are all different and unique.
Pretty much, but I do get people who want the same, the same thing in a different size, which I do that. I always honor that, but I have to tell people they're all hand painted. They're gonna be
slightly
unique and have slight variation and stuff like that.
What's your favorite leather to work with?
I love like a good thick buttery veg tan that's been tumbled in the dryer, the big tumbler, the dryer. I love that stuff so much. The thicker the better for me, because I like, I love working with it. And I love the way that it holds dyes and things. And it's all about the blank canvas for me. So veg tan is like the best.
Yeah, oh, that's so great. I'm asking everybody just kind of like the same thing. What's your favorite tool in the shop?
Favorite tool?
Or hand tool, or a machine, or equipment?
I mean, it's so basic, but I love my lasting pliers so much. They're just I've had them since Cordwainers. No, they're the red ones.
Is it the Italian one, the one that we all have in the shop?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. Are those?
Is that the red one?
That's my favorite tool. It's just my lasting pliers.
Yeah.
But lasting is just such a cathartic, nice thing. I love it. And it's such an art form. Like you get to know the leather, and it's like stretching a canvas. Right?
I love it.
Yeah.
You're a lefty too, yeah?
Yeah. A funny story though, like I was lasting so many shoes. I did like a small production run for Anthropology a couple summers ago, and I made more shoes than I had made like my entire, shoemaking career in the summer. and I was lasting so much that my fingers, I got like trigger finger, and I would wake up in the morning and my fingers were like stuck like this, and I'd have to like pry them open, and I'd have to massage them and stuff.
Oh.
Also,
Would you
like,
use your red, sorry,
no,
your
no,
right foot at all? Not right foot,
no,
right?
no, I'm such a lefty. But another thing I get when I'm lasting, a lot of shoes, like crouched over, like my posture is shit, and also my my jaw gets really tight. Like I get like, so I have to go home and massage my jaw all night long.
Wow.
Yeah. Does that happen to you?
No. Maybe there's something where you're like, and you're like,
I know. I'm like too frustrated or something. Maybe I don't know, but I started grinding my teeth at night too, and I think it's because of all the
pulling.
yeah.
Oh,
I think so. Yeah.
All right. We gotta fix that somehow.
I know.
If anybody has some like tips on that.
I actually just bought a facial
Roller.
facial gua sha. Have you heard of
Yeah.
this?
Is it like the
It's not.
stone?
It's kind of like the same idea, but it's in this like little kidney shaped
That's
tool.
what Albert had, right?
Yeah, and so I started doing it with, you put oil on your face and you do
You have to hold your skin and do it.
motions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's helping my jaw.
Oh,
So
good.
That's good.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What are you wearing right now?
I am wearing just plain red shoes, unshaven legs. Live tonight. They're just plain red. Don't go too close.
Okay, okay. It's a fuzzy camera. It's okay. It's like a glow to it.
Jumpsuit.
I'm wearing Bonnie's.
Yes.
Yes.
You have tape on the bottom of yours.
So.
Oh my god! It's never coming off.
Oh, it's nailed in.
Oh.
I think it's a stapler.
Oh my god, yes. Stefan,
Shoemaking problems.
my partner came in last night. He walked in and he's like, there was a nail sticking into his shoe. He's like,
Oh.
this cannot happen to a customer.
Yes. After I move out, I think we'll just do a deep clean.
Oh, yeah, we're
Yes.
moving. Everything is
Yeah.
a mess right
Where
now.
do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years?
I would love to, I mean, as much as I love this space, and I can't imagine ever leaving, Lorna, my beloved.
I'll visit.
I would love to have a garage. Like, I'd love to have more space. I mean, I've lived in New York for like a million years. I can't even count anymore. It's been so long, and I'm desperate for a little bit of space. Yeah. So, like, what you have going on, you have your upstate oasis, and then you
Live on here.
yeah, that would be ideal. But I'm not by myself. I'm with a partner, and he's from the West Coast, and so there's like the West Coast dreams and
Yeah.
upstate dreams and
You don't know
garage
where it'll
dreams.
take you yet. And
Not
you're
yet.
open to the West.
yeah. I just would love some space, but I also love New York City so much.
Right. How about the markets that you do? How are they? Are they gonna reopen?
I don't know. So I was supposed to do the upstate market, the Field and Supply. It's going on this weekend. Well, it was going on this Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, wow.
But obviously that was canceled, postponed to July or August. I hope it's still gonna happen. I was really excited about doing that one because it's the first.
It's a beautiful one.
Yeah, and it's the first show I've done, or I would have done upstate, because I always do shows out west in California.
Which ones have you done in the West?
I have been
which
doing
ones are
Mercado Sagrado. So that one is like up in the sort of Topanga, Malibu area, north of LA. And I recently did, Mercado Sagrado is like my favorite one. It's my sort of my customer.
Is it once a year, twice a year?
It's once a year, but I also did one last summer in Big Sur. I did like a residency in Big Sur, which was really nice too. So my stuff was there for a few months.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you feel like is it just the vibes there that you just love the colorway, everything, the clients too, or is it more what's the difference? Well, I guess you want to try the East Coast.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of my customers are just California customers for whatever reason, and that might, the palette is very desert inspired, I guess, and you know, you don't want to wear these in like the pouring rain or the sludgy New York snowy, you know, God knows what the weather is.
Right.
But I guess that could be part of it too.
Right. Now I'm like looking at all my. Oh, one last thing. So, how do you feel after all the help that you've been doing at the hospitals? Do you feel like you need to go back again to help, or you feel like you've done your part, kind of, and you're like, okay, I don't think that they need you anymore, or
Yeah, I feel.
how do you feel about this whole pandemic too? Like,
Yeah, I have a lot of complicated feelings about it, and I have this like, you know, if I think about it a lot, sometimes I get a little guilty that like I'm not in the hospital anymore, and I have this guilt, but I'm still working.
Yeah.
I'm still doing a lot of work for the hospitals. I'm doing a lot of data for COVID patients, and you know, it's necessary. It's vital. And
yeah.
it's all important. We're all doing our part in whatever,
Yeah.
you know, whatever we're sort of doing right now. Even if it's just staying at home and working from home and going crazy and, you know, feeling like you should be doing more, and all. Everyone's going through so many emotional, psychological issues right now, I think. But yeah, I feel like I did my part, and I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that it's over.
Yeah.
And they might need my help again, which
do they call you kind of on call?
Well,
or
no, I kind of, it's a little different. They just kind of take whatever help you can give them. So I was working, you know, I was going in 3 days a week, 3 hospital shifts a week. So I mean, they could, if they get a second wave, they could need me again, and I'll go again.
But then your other day job, that's also the data work, then you have to take time off from that to go? Or does it translate? Can you tell them that you're going to volunteer kind of and have a little break from that? Or?
Well, I never really got a break. I worked 7 days a week for the last, like, 3 months.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm looking forward to days off, actually, and I don't feel as guilty. I'm like, I've been working.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I mean, yeah. The first couple, was it 2 months maybe? 1 month that I was like up and down. I remember like texting, being like, I'm not doing anything but being at home. And you're like, just stay home.
Yeah, you're
like,
doing exactly what you should do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just stay home. That's not doing anything. It's so hard.
I know it.
Oh, yeah. But I feel like there's less, not that I was here, but I feel like there was people telling me like, used to be more ambulances sounding.
Oh.
I don't know if you noticed that. I don't feel like I hear it as often.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah,
Do you
I think
notice
you're right.
that? Like, my friends have been telling me like, it's like every 10-15 minutes you hear it.
We hear it often, but I think also where we are, we go right onto the bridge.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people are like collecting people from Brooklyn and taking them into Manhattan, or, you know, I don't know. Because our main road is literally to the bridge, right?
Yeah, they'll go into Manhattan.
They will. Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, hospitalizations are there. Everything is declining for sure, but the patients are still really. There's ICUs are full of really sick patients who have been there this whole time, and they're
All right, we can't.
No,
we're still social distancing. Yeah. I don't know if this is. I call this the shoe family. So I'm like, I only go between the shoe studio and home.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I haven't been even to the supermarket actually, because I'm like, I don't want to go somewhere. I mean, and there's a lot of lines. So, so I feel like I'm safe, but at the same time, it's tricky, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you never really know. There's exposure everywhere. It's all just about minimizing it and protecting yourself and your family and everyone near to you.
Do you feel like you were more creative during this quarantine? A little bit here. Did you have a little more time, like, away from work to come here? Or?
I'm just now kind of like coming back to life. I feel like I wasn't making anything for a little while, which was, you know, it's not good for the psyche, for me at least. It was driving me nuts, but
You're actually really good at time management, which is actually amazing to me. Like, yes, because you do so many things.
Yeah.
And you know,
I drink a lot of coffee.
Mhm.
You don't drink coffee anymore, do you?
No, it's been years.
God,
Yeah.
I drink too much coffee. That's what it is.
Well, if it keeps you going, you know, I think it's okay.
I guess so.
Yeah, but just don't make too much all at once and then get your hand.
Yeah.
That's like an experience you feel and you're like, oh shoot. Like,
Yeah,
gotta
or my
protect your
jaw.
hand.
This is
Yeah.
probably
Maybe,
coffee.
yeah. Coffee jaw.
It's not a shoe jaw. It's a
Coffee jaw.
Yeah. All right. I do you have any questions? Anybody
I don't
from there?
see any.
Lorna, do you have any questions for us? Would you like to
Um,
have a seat?
No, good.
Would you come up with like a design, brand name that's not your namesake, or how?
I
do you
would.
feel
I
like-
totally would. I guess I didn't really think about the brand name too much. I was just like, this is me. It's just my name. Yeah. LLC, done. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot to think about, I guess, if you're thinking about an entire brand, which
I think it is an entire
yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other styles are you cooking up other than
I'm-
shoes?
other than shoes.
Hmm.
You have other.
Do you have
other
plans?
Oh, I mean, I'm always making something. I was making little like kimonos before, and I made, I start by making some for me and my friends, and then I kind of test it out that way, that sort of thing.
You had a fanny pack going.
Yeah, yeah,
Like a half moon shape.
Yeah, the little moon. I'm making those actually, and I'm just not. Lorna helps me with my bag making because it's just, I don't know. Bag making there's just an element of, I just don't trust myself enough. But so that's why I make like the most simple bag ever, and Lorna still helps me with it. But yeah, the bags are great, and people, their bags are like one size fits all, which is so beautiful compared to shoes are so annoying sometimes. It's like they have to be perfect, especially these shoes. They're so specific. The colors, like they have to click perfectly with the customer, which is so great when it does. But it's just it's nice to have other items that are
Right.
Is there a favorite color palette of all time, or it just varies with mood?
I mean, it varies a little bit, but I love desert colors. I love like desert.
Sunset.
Yeah,
Mm.
sunsets. This like sort of canyon tan and violet. I love purple. Sometimes I call it violet if like I think people don't like the word purple.
Yeah.
as much.
Yeah, I love lilac.
Lilac,
Because
violet.
it could almost be grey too. It's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
Right.
like right in your face.
Right.
But yeah, I love the warm. I never make black shoes. I do. I've started because people, they want like a black pair of boots, which is fine. But it's funny because like for me, black is the most exotic color I ever use.
And do you use black veg tan that's already from the vendor, or do you actually dye it black?
I played with dyeing it black, and I just don't like my dyes don't get.
It's more
totally
indigo,
black.
right?
It's
When you've
more
done it
indigo.
before, yeah.
Yeah. So I usually find some good dead stock black leathers. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for
Thank
taking your
you.
time.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.
Thank you. Lorna.
Yay. All right, and all right, I have a question. Yeah.
All right. I don't know how to. Are you sure you want to end your live?